Record to the cloud. Hello there. Welcome to Freedom Mastery and Journey to Freedom. And Coach Teresa's on live here. And if you are joining us live, welcome to the call. And you are always welcome to just not raise your hand. You're always welcome to just ask any questions, or if something comes up and you're inspired to share during a call, please you're welcome to unmute yourself and just start chatting with us. I do like this to be more of a mastermind. So the way we structure it is from time to time, we'll have somebody else come on and host or also guest speak. And I'm really excited about that because I have some coaches this year that are preparing courses and getting ready to do their own things. And this gives a chance to kind of practice, to have a platform to practice and to share things that you're inspired to share, to kind of get a feel of what it feels like to be the one talking. And you know, it's always, we all know that it's not our desire to talk, you know, it's not our desire to really be the one in the spotlight usually. You know, the desire is that somebody could be helped by what I'm sharing, and that my journey and my struggles and my challenges up until now that I've been able to overcome through coaches and mentorship and life, just life in general as well, that it would all go for good. And that from here on, my story would be one of hope and healing. And that's just what I wish for myself and also for all of you. And I know that that's what I tracked as well. So I know most of you here have talked about being coaches and coaching. So if you want a platform to practice or to share on, reach out to me, reach out and let's chat about that. So the first thing that I really want to start with, and that I always this is part of my heart every single day, for over 100 days, I committed to listening and reading the God Memorandum. And the one thing that I got out of that entire God Memorandum, like if I could boil it down to one statement that I could sum up the entire thing with, that's what I was working on for a while in my meditations and in my prayers. And it came down to where it says, "Know then the first secret to happiness and success that you possess, even now, every blessing necessary to achieve great glory." So that now we possess everything, that there's really nothing left to achieve. There's really nothing out there left to set as a goal that can conquer what we have right now, where we are, who we are today. And that is so powerful and very, very just eye-opening. I mean, paradigm shifting. Now you call it whatever you want to call it. I mean, maybe like that's like a bomb almost. Like, what? Right now? Like, you might look at your life and think, really? This is as good as it gets? So not necessarily, right? In our perception, right? And in our hearts, we can truly, truly be grateful for everything we have now. We truly can, as we hope for the future, as we have faith that better is to come if we need better, and if we're struggling, and if we're seeking an answer, and if we're seeking a miracle. You know, it is there. It's there to realize for us somewhere. Very powerful. So a verse that I read this week was Genesis 13:14. And I'm just going to paraphrase this. God says, "Look from the place which you are, and all that you see I will give to you." We are literally promised everything that we can set our sights on. Now, I don't know that he only meant physically. You know, did he mean visualization? You know, did he mean what we can imagine, what we can see? I don't know. I do believe it is more. I believe it was more than physical that he was talking about there. Also, when I think of vision, you know, I always think of just that belief that some people talk about us having a third eye, and that we have another kind of insight. And that's kind of how I explain what the third eye is, kind of in easy terms where people can kind of understand it. That's like what our insight is. So when you tend to have a lot of insight and you tend to kind of see into things more than a lot of people do, see past the physical more, and you can kind of easily get into that paradigm, then you're kind of said that your third eye is open, or like you have a third eye. So I always like to say that we have way more eyes than ears even, right? So even more so than listening, we should be seeing even more than we hear, right? So how do we see more than we hear? That's kind of how I explain what it means to manifest a miracle, what that means. Truly, it is a miracle when we can see more than what's here, than what most people see, than what the physical realm shows us. Truly, if we can close our eyes, and whether it's imagined or in meditation, you know, there's this thing people talk about called transcendental meditation is one of them, but not necessarily the practice, like not that you pay to learn how to do this type of meditation, but that in meditation you can transcend, just transcend. We'll just leave it at that, right? And I've been there, and I've been experiencing some of that, and it's true. There is this you know, Eric Eckhart Tolle explains it as, he calls it space, the space, creating space. And so that's kind of how I explain what I experienced in meditation, was this space, this like openness, this almost like this big room, but that didn't have walls or a ceiling or a floor, and what came to me, if I had to put words on it, was limitless possibilities. And that was way after I had already started Journey to Freedom. Freedom Mastery, I don't think was created yet. But through meditation was really, really where I realized I could manifest miracles, that I could really manifest anything I wanted in my life that was good, that wasn't hurting anybody, that wasn't taking anybody down, but especially that was helping many people, especially some things that were helping many people, specifically, is just what came to me. So to do this, my mentor, Robert Hollis, likes to say we need to rewire our mental blueprint. That's what he calls it. We have a mental blueprint. We've had it since birth, or it's been being established since birth, mainly during the first 8 years of life. So that can really tell us a lot about who most of us are. Now, a lot of us, you know, we've come to that realization already, and we can separate, you know, what benefits us and what doesn't, and separate from that. But a lot of times what that is it's a journey, right? It's just a process continually of kind of becoming again aware of who we really are, who we want to be, who other people have made us think we are maybe, or feel we are, and then shifting that. And it's not always noticing it. We notice it, we know when it happens because we feel uncomfortable. It's that unease, it's that discomfort that you feel. It's just doesn't feel good. So we know when it happens, we know when it's happening, but what do we do about it? And how can we shift back, right? So, and that's what I call manifesting a miracle. When you can literally at any point in your day have what you want, basically. Like, I want to have peace right now. Okay, boom. You know what to do and what to call on, or who to call on, or where to call on to get that, whatever it is. Now, maybe it's not peace, right? Maybe it's a car. Listen, my really, really good friend, if you don't know Amy Yaniak, you've got to look her up on Facebook. Amy Yaniak, she's the one that introduced me to my mentors, Robert Hollis and Melody Riva. So she's been doing this visualization, this manifestation practice ever since I started, basically, as well, with kind of same community, Robert Hollis community. So she's going through a situation, needs a car, needs money. She is also an actress. She's in with this acting agency, right? So she gets called on The Price is Right, gets called up to the panel, gets called up to the wheel, wins the whole show, wins 2 cars and a trip, like this big vacation. She totally manifested that. Sold a car to pay the taxes on the other parts of the win. But just amazing, and just a beautiful testimony of what manifesting is and what can happen where you just don't know. You know, who knew she was going to get that call? Who knew that? Nobody knew that. And you can so totally see it in her face. So I watched the show. My sister-in-law recorded it. And when I watched it, talk about tasting a miracle. That was what came to my mind. Oh, I just tasted a miracle, because I tasted the magic she felt when that happened to her. When she experienced that big win, that magic, that moment, that miracle, right? Because in her mind, I'm sure when she got the very first call, right, she's already thinking of the outcome. I'm going to win this. Oh my gosh, I can win this. Oh my gosh, like when she realizes, you know what, wait a minute, what the possibilities are, right? So she starts speaking it. When she won, I literally like started crying. I felt her emotion come over me, like as if I was her. Bawling. I was bawling in the living room of my sister-in-law's house. My husband turns around and looks at me. I was like, can't you feel it? Anyway, but that really helped me confirm too that I wanted to talk about this today, because that can happen to any of us. You don't have to be an actress. You don't have to be on The Price is Right. It can happen to anybody at any time. We could meet anybody literally with our work we're doing on Facebook, networking every day, however many hours a day. I'm minimal, and now right now during this season I'm literally working an hour to 2 in the mornings, and that's and then now Thursday afternoons on. But even with that, the networks, the size of networks that I am seeing is massive, expansive. I'm not running any ads. I have not run ads for 3 months, and I have expanded my network the most within the last 3 months since I have not been running ads. So anybody can do this. You know, this is something I've been manifesting for years. I've been wanting to grow this online network. I've been wanting to support in a big way humanity somehow. Didn't know how, didn't know what was going to happen. And this is what's been manifesting here. So freedom, all kinds of freedom, journey to freedom, freedom mastery. And I want to help everyone do this. I want to help everyone manifest whatever miracle it is in your heart and your life that you're working on manifesting. It could be a love relationship. It could be a relationship with the love you already have. I actually did manifest like a brand new love relationship with my husband of 15 years. This year has been like a new love. Literally like we're new again. It's been beautiful. And it's a manifestation. It's a gift. It's something that I know that I've been manifesting because of the actions I've been taking, which I'm about to share with you a lot of what they are. Changing, another way that our mentor describes this is changing our filters. We're going to work on changing our filters. While we've been traveling, I've been cleaning our windshields, or I've been requesting to clean our windshields a lot because I like taking photos, right, and videos out of the windshield. And a lot of times there's bugs and stuff in the way, and I don't want to see the bugs and the distractions, right? I want to see what the view is. So I kind of wanted to give you that analogy. So kind of see that as this, what these steps are going to help you do. There's 8 of them, or eight, they're kind of like 8 reminder steps, call them what you want, but 8. And what they're going to do is they're going to help you have that sparkly new windshield every single day to keep those miracles coming. And it's not like it's just one miracle, right? It's once you start attracting that, I'm telling you, it's just like one after another, as seemingly small as you think they are. You never know what leads to something big. You just never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to turn around and meet. Like the one at one of these parks, I was chatting with this elderly lady. She was so sweet, so nice. She ended up being the owner of the entire park. And not only that, but she owned several other parks as well, and had this huge testimony. She was this big entrepreneur, big dreamer. Her husband wasn't on board. She said, I divorced that man, and ever since then, my dreams have been coming true. So it really opened my eyes too to the fact that you never know what you got to do to manifest your dreams. Like, you know, it might be something that somebody else might not agree with. Maybe it's something somebody else wouldn't do. But I do believe we know in our hearts what we need to do, and what we should do. So I be still, listen to your own heart and voice is the most important, not my voice, Not the pastor's voice, not Robert Hollis's voice, but your own inner voice is the most important. Okay, so let's get started. Number one is commit. That's it. First, we're just going to start with committing. We're just going to say, I commit to this journey, whatever this journey is that you're in right now. I'm not going to get overly distracted with distractions. You know what your distractions are. It's things that usually aren't on your plan of the day. It's usually things that you don't plan to do that day, or maybe it's things you plan to do for a short amount of time, but you end up doing them for a long time. Like watch TV. For some people, it's habits like smoking, drinking, eating. It could be anything. Reading. I mean, literally, it could be anything that you could just be kind of splurging, overdoing, indulging in, maybe just a little too early, you know? If you have a journey and a dream that you're looking at, the fact is we have to make sacrifices. Somewhere, somehow, we're going to have to pay, you know? And like, there's a way here, like with this group setup, this Journey to Freedom and Freedom Mastery is absolutely a 100% way to create an income. It is an income stream that anyone can create without spending any money, without spending anything. And most people don't realize that, but that's just really, really big to me. So when I invested, I didn't necessarily invest money into this specific, what taught me to do this, right? But I invested a lot of time. I invested a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, dear God, a lot of breakthroughs. I gave up a lot of habits. I changed my entire life, basically, to be able to do this. I always wanted to do this. I always knew the desire was there. It took a coach and a mentor to really support me, to believe in me until I believed in myself. For sure, I would not be here without help. But then, you know, in the end, it was committing, listening to my voice, what was pushing me or stopping me. You know, it's not always taking action. It's not always doing. It's not always getting on Facebook and posting and doing a lot of, I do believe what God has for our paths is often the things that we don't expect to be work. It's meditating. It's forgiving. You know, who would have thought, you know, that part of my work day would be to work on forgiving somebody that hurt me. Or what Melody told me one time, she's like, imagine speaking on gratitude. Like, just imagine helping others be more grateful as your job, like as your income, or as your, you know, living. And to me at that time was just bizarre. Like, that was insane. Like, no, I have to be teaching someone about photography because I'm good at photography. Like, I was a photographer. I was a great photographer. That's what I did good. So that's what the only thing I thought, you know, a lot of times we don't realize that our heart is truly all we need. It's not a network marketing company. It's not a skill. It really is our heart, you know, opening our hearts, committing to the journey. And that's, you know, most of the journey is having an open heart. It really, really is. Okay. So number 2 is fine tune your frequency. Fine tune your frequency. So there's so many ways to fine tune our frequency. But the main way is to remove what does not serve us, because those are all the things that will bring down our frequency. So we can be working on ways to bring it up all we want, right? Drinking happy coffee, or doing the things that we know we're supposed to be doing on a daily basis, meditating. We could be doing all right things. But if after noon, we're watching the news, we're having to check in with this negative boss that's tearing us down and always has something bad to say about our work, or we, you know, if afternoon everything just tears up what that morning did, then that's more powerful than, you know, anything you did. So it will totally destroy everything you did to build the frequency. All the things we know, the meditating, gratitude is the quickest way to build frequency. Like when we're in a really emotional situation here, I'm working on it with Marina now. Just immediately in the situation, just totally changing courses and saying, I am grateful for, and just start listing off some gratitude. And I've done it a couple of times for me already, and it's been great. It like literally changes your emotions very quickly. Kind of similar to, I talked about on one of the other calls, using humor to do that too. that this has been great. So removing what doesn't serve us, and then remembering to keep consistent, not religious, with the things that do build your frequency, like meditating, gratitude, keeping a surrounding of your friends and family, anybody around. Most people on a regular basis that are around you are high, vibration, happy people, or are at least striving to be. Nobody's perfect, right? We all have our ups and downs. Everyone's going to have their day. So, I always like to say that when I meet somebody, and if they happen to be having a bad day or a bad time, if that situation just didn't click, I 100% of the time, my goal is to give them that chance, that first chance. Just, you know what, that might have been a bad first impression. Maybe they're having a bad day, to not judge them no matter what, and that's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. And I have been able to look in the mirror of myself at what I judge, what am I judging within myself? And we hurt people, unknowingly when we judge people. And when we see people based on really things that are within our own self. So anyway, use the mirror to reflect and to pull all the good things out. So number 3 is harness your harmony. Harness your harmony. And that means work on as much as you can, feeling good, having fun, tapping into your creativity. Another great way to do that is spending time with kids. Kids are very high vibe energy. They may seem crazy and out of control a lot, but it's because they're so high vibe. They do not have zero worries, and they are just like jittering, like they're on a rainbow. If you let them, right? If you let them, they really are. Spend time with kids is a great way, playing with kids. And then trusting your intuition, because as you trust your intuition, you confirm that what you're hearing is what you should be following. And then that brings harmony within yourself, trusting yourself, knowing that you are being guided, that you're never alone. Never, ever, ever. It's something I already tell my kids at all their ages, 4 as well. You are never alone, son. Know that God is always with you and within you. And you can talk to God and God can talk to you. He may not understand it all. He may know more than me for all I know, right? Number 4 is set your standards. Set your standards, because if you don't, somebody else will. And nobody will ever, ever have the standards even slightly of what we have for ourselves. And that's a great judge of what we expect of others, and how, when we look at others and we want others to treat us certain ways, or you see people, having those expectations on people, when you look at their own life and their own maybe health or their own habits, and they're not respecting themselves. So I just always ask myself that, and try to remind myself that, to be and have integrity with myself, set my standards, that whether someone is there or not, these are decisions I'm making. Not only that, but not only decisions on standards on decisions, but standards on my emotions, standards on my quality of life, standards on whatever it is that day, setting that standard and then sticking with it and being consistent with it. And, I'm an overcoming procrastinator. I previously had never been consistent at much of my entire life. I would work dead-end jobs for a really long time for somebody else, and, just for the money, but I never succeeded doing that. And, when I really learned to set my standards and expect those around me to expect more of me than I expected of myself. That was when my life changed. When the people around me wouldn't settle for, oh, I was just not feeling good, so I just wasn't going to show up. Or, oh, we just didn't have Wi-Fi, so I wasn't going to check in that day, or whatever, the case is. Not showing up, So setting standards for yourself, primarily, you've got to stick with them, or other people won't either. Okay, number 5 is be able to change your state. So this is really important and valuable. And Robert Hollis talks about this a lot in leadership and being called. Like, we are called to grow, right? We're called to continue growing. We're called to keep leading. But as we lead, we also keep growing through that as well, right? So it's not like we're never impacted with emotions. It's not like we never have a bad day ourselves, or a horrible thought, or slurred out something that we regret. Like, we still have those moments, and those times, they're still going to come. As long as we're human, they just are. And to know what to do when they come can be the best saving grace, because instead of working on eliminating these kinds of things, because we're not going to be, yes, we can be what is it, superhuman, right? We can work on our superhuman skills and seeing more and hearing more, but the fact is, we are still human, and these changes in our state will come. So knowing how to change your state, believing you can be a little better every day is key. Knowing that every day you can increase and be a little bit better every day, and then rebooting and starting again and getting things done when you just don't feel like it. That's when I reach out for a really powerful meditation, maybe a Bob Proctor meditation, or depends what I'm going through. I mean, definitely the 6-phase meditation, if it's like any anger emotion, or if I need to forgive someone, or if I'm having issues that, just a second, issues with the emotions and stuff, but the 6-phase meditation really helps there. But knowing how to change your state. 6 is shift your work mindset to calling focused. So see your work primarily, before anything else, as your calling. So whatever it is that you're doing for work, because really what it comes down to is, if everything we do is part of our calling, no action is in vain, not one, because everything leads to something that leads to part of our calling. So it's really important, I think, to have that feeling. Hi, Jasmine. Thanks for joining. It's really important to have that feeling that what you're doing for work is your calling. It is what you're called to do. I'm so grateful that I can say that I wake up and that I get to be a mom first. That's not my only job. For some it is. Some get to just be mom, and that's awesome. That's just not my calling, right? So I say I get to be a mom first, and then I get to help people create income online, so they can be home with their families and have a full-time family, or do whatever it is they want, homeschool their kids. Maybe they want another job where they can do crafts, or, photograph, do photography, something they love, but they still need to pay bills. So, making sure that your work mindset is calling focused helps so much in freedom, in feeling good in the day and all that you do. Oh, good. Yeah, I think her message said her training finished early. She is a woman of continued education. I love that. She's constantly learning. So number 7 is let go of, let go of issues. So I have issues in quotes. So in other words, see issues as normal, as being normal, as just not an issue. Like, take that word issue out of vocabulary. I'm going to be honest, since getting really serious about my mindset and about my success habits, I have totally had to eliminate some words from my vocabulary. I do not say them. I don't talk about stuff anymore that way. I truly look at the situation, and I keep looking at it until I can see the good in it, or until I can see the lesson, something. But if I'm going to focus on something that's wrong, or an inadequacy, or a shortcoming, like if I see an issue and it keeps coming and it keeps coming, not normal, inadequate, like if I just can't throw it, I'll talk to my coach and mentor about it. I'll message Melody about it. A friend, just a good friend. Maybe I'll talk to my husband. Depends what it is. I don't talk to my husband about everything. Some people feel like, my husband's my best friend. I need to be able to talk to my husband about everything. I used to feel that way through most of my life. I did. And it was not long ago that I really, really felt this word from God that men are truly different, and that, you know, you really don't have to talk about everything to them. Not that they don't love us, not that they don't want to help us. That might even be the issue. They want to help so bad that they'll start to worry, that they'll get stressed out, that they'll start to give ideas maybe we're not asking for, whatever it is. It helps to have friends, mentors, coaches, other people that we can go to talk to. But here's the deal, that number one, we know won't judge us. You can't be afraid to talk to them about anything, basically. If you're afraid to talk to somebody about anything, that means that they could probably judge you on anything. So what I always say is, you got to have that, you know, 2 a.m. friend that no matter what, you know, that you can call them at no matter what time of day. They're not going to look at the clock and see what time it is when you call. It doesn't matter what it is or where, what time. They're just going to be there like, what's going on? What do you need? Like, that's going to be the first response, right? And it's okay if that's not our spouse or our best friend or our parent, especially not our children. That's another thing God's really, really been talking to me about since my daughters have been getting older, is that it's not healthy and safe to talk to children about our issues as a parent, because in some ways, yes, some ways in a child, you know, related terms maybe, but not necessarily in adult language, adult vocabulary, like they're a friend, even if they're teenagers, because no matter what, they still need a parent. And if a parent's going to be their friend, who's going to be their parent? That's just, you know, growing up, that was one of my, I wished I had a parent. You know, I had someone that really just was trying to be my friend a lot, and I just didn't want that. I needed a parent. I needed guidance. Anyway, so whether a child or adult, we all still continue to need guidance. And it helps to have somebody to go to be able to go to. So number 8, and this is the last one, and this is more of a reminder, a goal, to remember that miracles aren't selective or exclusive. Just like blessings, right? A miracle is a blessing in my vocabulary. And, you know, God's blessings are open for everyone and anyone who believes and who has the faith to keep on the road and on the journey. If you just logged in here later, make sure watch from the beginning when I post the replay, because number 1 was commit to the journey. And you know, that's what it circles around to. You commit, you keep remembering, through the trials, through the struggles. There was this beautiful visual, and I'm going to post this video. I'll post it in the group. And it was a video I took while we were traveling, and you could see this beautiful, it was called Lake Pleasant. And it was so pleasant. It was blue, 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 blue. And it was water that they have actually like brought in and made this lake right here in the desert of Arizona. So beautiful though. So you can see it, and you can see in the distance, so beautiful, right? So pleasant. And in my mind, I'm like, that's the miracle. That's the dream. That's the miracle that God promises, right? That we know is there. We know it's there. And at times, right, in our visualizations, because we must visualize and feel it first before we're ever going to see it, anything physical at one time was a thought first. So the more detailed and visual we can make our thoughts, the better. So as you're visualizing your dream every day, as much as you can, multiple times a day maybe, literally, like, for if you just have a few minutes, like just take a few minutes and close your eyes and really, really try to feel what your dream is going to feel like, whatever that is for you. But you see that vision, right? And you see it, and sometimes it's crystal clear, and then life hits, right? Or things happen, or, you know, whatever it is that tries to come in and distract us, the bugs on the freaking windshield, right? Whatever that is. And you got to remember that it's still there, right? Even though at times we're not going to be able to see it, we got to remember that it's still there, because it is. And in this video, I'm videotaping from the side window, and you can see the lake, and then all of a sudden, like, a mountain will pop up, and there's no lake, and there's no lake, and then the mountain will go down. You can see the lake again. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, it's still there. Oh, good, it's still there. But in my mind, what I thought was, what if when that mountain popped up in my mind, I truly thought it had disappeared? That is the analogy, the exact same thing as our miracles that we are manifesting, that are there waiting for us to just receive and accept them. Those moments of doubt and those moments that we forget that they're there can be so powerful, can separate us from our miracle, can separate us from manifesting it. So, you know, and the important thing is just rerouting and coming back up to see the miracle. And the ways that I find that I just love to do that is visualization. Melody and Robert recommend that. And then also in a meditation is a great way too, because you'll see things that a lot of times you're not trying to see. God will bring visions to you that not like you're attempting. Things show up. Yeah. So that was it. So thank you so much for listening. And if you've watched the replay, thank you so much. I'm going to open it up for question and answer, and feel free if you have any questions or if you want to share anything, if you're inspired to add anything, please feel free. I know Coach Teresa is on too, and anybody listening on the phone as well, feel free to unmute and chat with us.
From now on, I will write down when something pops to my head, because something did and it's gone.
Okay.
There was something that you said and it was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I was too busy writing down other notes and forgot to write down my own thought. So
I'll leave a message too. And you know what? Sometimes that's meant to be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it'll come back up. And you can message it in the group or post it in the group too, and could help somebody else too with things. Oh, uh-oh. So what was I going to ask?
Jasmine, I'm glad you got to pop in.
Yes, I am too. Good to see you. Oh, my journal came in. I'm so excited. Well, I kind of did a planner journal combination, passion planner.
Uh-huh.
And I like this one because it has the month and the weeks and the days. And then in the back is where it's got like journal area to write. Not a whole lot though. I thought it was more than it is.
Oh.
So I'll probably also need a journal. I do like to write a lot. You know, that's part of the course I did with Melody. That was the daily ritual. That was the daily part, is creating content. So like what I always did, the easiest way that I did that, and that's what I plan to do here, and I'll just separate it like that. But every time I listen to a replay, or if I listen to Robert Hollis's, if I was in the masterclass or the advanced masterclass or whatever it was, I would just take notes, and that was just the best way. I found that I started to remember it more. And then when I needed content to share, like say I was going to do Facebook Live, or now once I started doing my own courses, you know, they are some of the only coaches that allow us to then share their content. So I always had something to go back on. I always had something to reflect on, to share later. The biggest part of learning, I realized too, and for years and years I was not doing this, is sharing what we learn. And, you know, a lot of times I know before, in the classes I was in before, I did photography courses and stuff. And there were some people that didn't want you to share it. So, you know, that kind of mindset, you see the people that are worried, right? That they're going to like lose the right. I don't lose money, or I don't know what it is, but Robert Hollis is not one of them. He is definitely one that says, you can share my content. You can, you know, go out and share this on Facebook Live. You know, use it to grow and better your life. And I love that about my mentors. But anyways, so that was a commercial for them. RobertHollis.com. They changed my life, guys. Seriously, over the last year, it was just nothing I expected. This is nothing what I expected, what I got from them. I was in a different network marketing company and literally thought they were going to just like help me make more money, which I am making more money, but in addition, I just have a better life. And that was something that a lot of coaches don't do. You know, it's a business coach or they're mindset coaches. You know, they don't really care about the big picture. They're just, you hire them and then they give you their curriculum, right? And you can't teach their curriculum though. I've paid thousands for coaches and they have copyrighted. You cannot share any of the content. So then there lies this block with how much you can really grow with that kind of coach, because you cannot turn around and then help other people with it. It's
Right.
only for you and only you, right? So that came to me at some
I'm
point.
live and they can see and hear you. Sorry.
And
It's all good.
Just warning my husband.
Oh, yes, yes.
Mine's in there snoring.
Mine has mine out there by the fire. They're probably we just moved camps and we're by the campfire now.
So exciting.
Yeah, and that was something I manifested as well. I was like just imagining, God, the only thing, because we were at one way in the front, which doesn't have a fire ring, and I was just like, the only thing we're missing here is if we had a camp ring, if we could do a campfire every night. And then this place came open literally like the next day.
Awesome.
We moved over right here, so yeah, the kids love the fire, and all the people from the camp come over and they get to talk and visit. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we've been loving it. Well, ladies, if y'all don't have any other questions or anything to share, I'll go ahead and cut this off so the replay is not all that long, but please let me know if you need anything. Also for this month of January, this call is open for free to anybody that you want to invite. So I've sent everyone the link that you're welcome to just share out. And then as people come on, just let me know that they're coming on in advance. And if you don't have time in advance, that's okay. Cause like sometimes I had one just right before the call, say they were gonna jump on. So that's fine. Just afterwards, connect us so that I can send them the questionnaire, or you can send them the questionnaire to see if they want membership into the group.
Okay.
But January, I really do want to just help anyone we can with these with this information, because it's helped a lot. It's helped me a lot, and it's helped a lot of people a lot. So yeah.
And when are you gonna
already
once a week on Thursdays?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know. I haven't looked at the calendar yet. What do we have left? 2 maybe? Yeah, 2, 24th and 31st. Yeah. Ooh, yay. We have 5 this month. Some months are only 4 Thursdays.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yay. Yes. Excited. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. So yeah, invite anybody that you want. And also, I don't know that I have this on a recorded call yet, but the membership to this group, to Freedom Mastery, is actually a compensation as well for members. So if you are a member and you invite somebody that becomes a member, then you receive 50% of their membership fee. So I pay you, depending on how many you're sending at the end of the week or at the end of the month, or whenever you want to request it. But that's just an ongoing thing that I just like to provide, because my mentor, Melody, did that for me before I had my own group. And I just thought it was the best thing ever to just make a little bit of extra money. So like around Christmas and the holidays, I would message all my friends and invite people to join us for the calls to introduce them to her. It's a great way to introduce without having to schedule a one-on-one call. And also in a group setting, right? Where it's like friendly, it's community environment. It's not like just I'm asking you questions and drilling you the very first time we meet. You know, it's kind of just more like of a hands-off meeting. And if you're in a network marketing company, then this can also be the introduction to that company. Because if you let me know in advance whatever your business link is, this group can also have a scholarship. It's on the questionnaire through a business opportunity. It doesn't state a company or anything like that. I know multiple coaches in this group are with multiple different companies. So I just like to kind of leave it open to opportunity. So when I get a recommendation and I send the questionnaire, then I just connect with whoever recommended them to me and make sure that we're working together to help each other out, and also to help them find whatever it is that's going to work best for them. And I'm always in it to help you guys, to help you as much as possible. I love creating freedom, helping people create freedom. That's my thing. It's not good enough. And my husband doesn't get it sometimes. Sometimes my kids don't get it. it's not good enough for us to be free. And like, I look at other families and said, they deserve it too. They deserve to have what we have, just because, you know, I'm big, the Science of Getting Rich book really, really confirms what I believed my whole life. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter the decisions you've made, even if things were your fault, not your fault, whatever. We have the ability to change those circumstances and to make different decisions starting today, and to have a whole new life starting as soon as today. And I do believe it. I do believe it. I've worked hard to do it for myself. And I'm working hard now to really, really help just show others that there are possibilities, that it is possible. Everyone's not going to do what I did. Everybody's not going to do it. The few are going to do it. It's work. It's work. Every morning I wake up before my family wakes up, every single morning. And that was the first commitment that I made. And I know when I talk to somebody, and if they're not committed to waking up in the morning just a little bit earlier, then they're not hurting bad enough. They're not in a bad enough situation. They're really still comfortable, which is okay, you know, right? There's not a good or bad. I don't have any expectations. I want to help people. You know, I'm working on wanting to help people only as much as they want to help themselves. Exactly. And that helps save that, right? That helps save us a lot of energy. Before I was giving my energy to anybody and everybody, and I was literally attempting to help everybody, and we cannot do that. We can, but we will go down in our grave very yeah. And moms, you know, we have the habit of doing that. So accountability is good too. Having friends, family, anybody that can reroute us and kind of remind us to take a look at our self-care routine. You know, and personally, I believe it should be in the morning, but I'm also one of those people that, you know, I'm not going to tell you to take your morning, that it should be your morning. I know people that do a routine at noon every day, and they're finding a lot of success. So find what works for you and be consistent. Consistency is the key.
Hi, Marina. Hi, Lily.
So my kids will come in so we can close out. Oh, we love y'all so much. Milk, almond milk.
Hi.
Jasmine.
How are you?
Hi. Good, we're good.
Good to meet you.
We just came back from the fire.
Aha, we heard all about it. Was it good?
Yeah, we chatted and talked for a while. We talked with some other guys at the camp.
Oh, so you met some new folks. Good.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. So there's this guy named Mr. Wayne, and he's always the one that starts and puts out the